Welcome to the Scott Allen Creative Vlog. We are a marketing agency in Grand Rapids, Michigan, serving nonprofits around the country. Today we wanted to look at a book for our book series where we are just kind of highlighting a book that might be helpful to you. It's like Cliff Notes in a video form. You don't have to read it because we already did. Actually, Jeff did. I didn't actually read it. And
Actually, we're trying to encourage them to read it.
Oh, okay. So hopefully after this video, you will be so encouraged to go out and buy it on Amazon and read it yourself. Let's get into it. So what's the book that we're looking at today?
So Stein on Writing by Sol Stein. When you think about writing, all of us who are in communication, who are in writing, whether we're writing a novel or a screenplay.
Or a video script?
Or a video script, yes, or content on a website for a nonprofit, social media post. This really kind of, to me, and again, forgive me because writing is not my background, and you may have other recommendations for great books on writing. Please let us know if you do. But I came across this book, and I feel like it's like the PhD for writers. The insights that he has are so incredible, and they really do apply to nonprofit work. Let me just throw out a few examples. Like when you're writing as a journalist, your lead sentence is critical. Or a novel, your lead sentence can be critical. Do I want to keep reading that novel? Do I want to keep reading the article? Do I want to keep reading that story in the newsletter? Well, what is my lead? Another important insight was tension. Am I creating tension and curiosity and leading the reader on to want to learn more? That was a whole nother chapter. He has so many different chapters. How do you develop character? How do you describe scenes? How do you create a scene? He taught an example of creating a scene was that you can look down on a street, like a bird's eye view, and you see the storefront, kind of like an urban storefront with the glass windows, and you see a figure in one of those entrances. Well, you just described an opening scene, establishing shot, they would call that in film. Or you can get closer in and be about 10 or 20 feet away from one of those entrances, and you see a person huddled in the entrance. You can see a little bit about them. They have long hair. She has jeans on. You see there's something behind her, maybe a backpack. She's holding onto something, and you're getting a little bit of a sense of this person is alone, just the way her body is posed. It looks like she might be a little bit of afraid. So that's another scene where you kind of have a room scene, they might call it in film. Then a third way to portray that moment is getting intimate and up close. And you see the woman's hair over her face, uncombed. There's soils and stains on her jeans and on her shirt. And she's actually holding a little child. And she has a backpack behind her that's kind of raggedy. And then another level is where you actually get into the mind of that person and what they're feeling and thinking, like the mom who's trying to protect this precious baby, not knowing where to go. She's trying to think and rehearse in her mind, should she go to her cousin's home? Would they let me stay on the couch? And you realize from her intimate perspective that she is indeed homeless. Throughout the book, there's so many great insights. It's a bigger read, but you could read one chapter at a time and say, wow, I can apply that one chapter to how I write.
But you essentially said it would be great for nonprofits.
Yeah.
Because writing moves the heart, right?
Absolutely.
The 4 scenes that you just conveyed is essentially going to move the heart at different levels. It's allowing you to just at a basic level all the way down to the most intimate, the thought level that is getting to know somebody very, very intimately when you start to hear their thoughts and know what they're thinking. And that is really what a nonprofit desires to do, is to move the heart of those, not only those that they're serving, but also potential donors, those that are relying on your services on a day-to-day basis. And if you can write a certain copy to send out in a newsletter or appeal or whatever it may be in an email, if it's moving the hearts, more likely people are going to respond. And so this kind of gives some framework to how to do that.
Yep.
If you were to say there's one thing, a takeaway, what would be that one thing?
Well, I love his chapter when he talks about creating drama. Like, I can say to you, I'm going to go to Arizona. I'm driving to Arizona with my wife. Who cares? Or I could say I'm driving to Arizona with my wife. We stop at a rest stop. I get back in the car, and she's missing. Now I just created some drama, right?
Yeah.
I created curiosity. Why is she missing? Every time you watch a TV show, if they don't leave you hanging for the next one, they didn't do their job.
Yep.
Every time you read the end of that chapter in that novel, if they don't leave you hanging, that person didn't do their job. Think of that. How can I frame some of that within a newsletter story, right?
Well, you think, why are so many people binge watching Netflix?
Oh, for sure, because you want to see the next one.
Because that episode ends in such a way, the writers have written it so that you would be hooked to want to press play onto the next episode.
Absolutely.
And so you keep finding yourself going, I need to know what's next. I need to know what's next.
So challenges and drama and struggles. We were talking with a client about this last month, and the client was saying, well, I really want people to know truly what struggles people face when they come out of incarceration. Because those are unique struggles. Well, don't be afraid of talking about those struggles. Don't just jump to the happy ending. We really need to appreciate what people go through to get to that happy ending.
Right. And not-for-profit writing doesn't necessarily mean a newsletter or appeal, like you said. It could be a video script.
Absolutely.
To convey what you do in such a creative way that creates draw and allure. And so, great.
Well, this book will really help you appreciate what great screenwriters, the filters that they use when they write, or a great novelist, the best-selling novelist. And you can be the best-selling writer for your nonprofit.
We are Scott Allen Creative. We are a marketing agency that serves nonprofits. Hope this was helpful. Thank you for joining us.